Hey there, treasure hunters and coin lovers, welcome back to the channel where ordinary coins become extraordinary paydays. If you're new here, I'm your friendly coin guide, and today we're diving deep into a quarter that might just change your life. Imagine this: you're digging through your old junk drawer, maybe searching for batteries or that one pen that still writes, when suddenly you spotted a shiny little quarter from 1986. You flip it over and bam, it's got a little P mint mark staring back at you. Hold up, don't spend it yet. That little piece of change could be worth up to $1.1 million. Yes, you heard that right, a 25-cent coin worth over $1 million. Just imagine buying a house or even retiring off a single quarter. Makes you want to start checking your couch cushions, right? So in this video we're talking all about the legendary 1986 P Washington quarter dollar, why it's so valuable, how you can identify it, the features to look for, and how you might actually own one without even knowing it. Will also throw in a wild story about how one lucky guy accidentally found one of these $1 million quarters in a laundry machine. Yeah, that actually happened. Stick around, because if you collect coins or just want to know how to turn your spare change into a fortune, this is the video you can't afford to miss. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1986 quarter features the first president of the United States, George Washington, on the obverse or the front side. Same classic image since 1932, right? But the real magic is hidden in the details. The P mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia. Now, in general, the Philly Mint pumped out over 550 million of these quarters. So what makes this one so rare and valuable? Well, here's the twist: it's not just the date and mint mark, it's the errors and conditions that make collectors go wild. There are a few known examples of 1986 P quarters with ultra-rare minting errors, including off-center strikes, double dies, missing clad layers, and even transitional planchets. We'll break all of these down in just a bit. The biggest reason one of these bad boys is worth $1.1 million is because of a major minting flaw. First up is the double die obverse. This means the coin was stamped twice, slightly out of alignment. You'll notice this by looking at the motto, "In God We Trust," or the word liberty. If the letters look like they've had too much coffee and are shadowed or blurry, you might be holding a winner. Next, we have the missing clad layer. Now, quarters are supposed to be made of a copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel. If one of those layers is missing, the coin looks all coppery and weird. That weirdness could be worth thousands. Oh, and don't forget the off-center strike. These are coins that were misaligned during minting. Part of the design might be cut off or shifted dramatically, making the coin look like it had one job and totally blew it. Well, that one job mistake can be worth big money. Now, here's the holy grail: the transitional error planchet. This is when a coin from one metal composition is struck using the wrong blank. These are crazy rare for this date and mint, but a few confirmed examples exist and they fetch serious cash. Let's talk about grading for a second. A 1986 P quarter isn't just valuable because of a mint error, it needs to be in superb condition. Collectors grade coins on a scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS 67 or higher is practically flawless. That's where the big bucks come in. One particular MS 67 error coin recently sold at auction for over $1.1 million. That's right, folks, one crisp quarter, one serious payday. So what should you look for? Smooth fields, no scratches, sharp details, full strikes, and that beautiful original luster. That means don't clean your coins, folks. Seriously, cleaning a rare coin is like washing an old painting with bleach. It destroys the value. Let me tell you a quick story. A buddy of mine named Jerry, big baseball fan, average guy, works in maintenance. He's doing laundry one weekend at the apartment complex and finds a quarter stuck inside the dryer vent. It's old, scratched and copper toned, but he throws it in his pocket, figuring it's nothing special. Later that week, he's watching one of our videos, yes, this channel, and hears about the 1986 P missing clad layer. He grabs the coin, squints at it, holds it under a desk lamp, and bam, it's got the right look. Fast forward a month, Jerry sells the coin to a collector for nearly $70,000. It wasn't even in mint condition, just a rare error and enough detail to confirm it wasn't a fake. He's since been diving into every dryer he can find. I don't recommend that approach, but hey, it worked for Jerry. You might be asking, alright, I have some quarters, how do I check if I've got the jackpot? First, grab a magnifying glass, look at the year 1986, check for the P mint mark, then start examining for those errors we talked about. If you think you've got something special, do not list it on eBay right away. Instead, take it to a coin dealer, get it professionally graded by companies like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it, give it a grade, and potentially connect you with collectors. There are also auction houses that specialize in rare coins like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers. That's where serious collectors go looking to spend serious money. Oh, and make sure you take clear photos front and back in good lighting. If your coin looks like it was photographed in a cave, nobody's going to take you seriously. So there you have it, friends, one tiny 1986 P quarter that could be worth a mind-blowing $1.1 million. Who would have thought that a simple coin we used to buy gumballs or feed parking meters might actually hold the key to financial freedom? Here's the moral of the story: don't ignore your pocket change. That jingle in your jeans could be a jackpot in disguise. Now, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins, make sure to smash that subscribe button, hit the like, and ring the bell so you never miss a hidden treasure in your Change drawer. And hey, let me know in the comments, have you ever found an old coin that turned out to be valuable, or maybe you're heading straight to your couch cushions after this video? Either way, I'd love to hear your story. Well, don't toss those quarters just yet. Because one of them, a plain OL 1983 Washington quarter with a little P mint mark, could be your golden ticket. I'm talking a $1.2 million jackpot. Yeah, no typo. That's 6 zeros after the one. Well, buckle up, because in the next 50 minutes, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this legendary coin, from why it's so rare, to what makes it worth more than a Ferrari, and how you could be holding one right now. And before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss these money-making coin secrets. Designed to honor our first president. Fast forward to 1983, and we've got quarters that seem ordinary, except for a very rare breed hiding in plain sight. 1983 was a weird year for coins. The US Mint didn't release any official mint sets. That's right, no collector sets. So if you wanted a shiny new quarter in 1983, your only option was to pull one straight out of circulation. That means most quarters got banged up, scratched, tossed in vending machines, and dropped in couch cushions. That's the first clue. These coins weren't saved in pristine condition. So finding one in top-notch shape today? That's like finding a mint-condition 1983 DeLorean in your garage. Minute 10 to 15, the power of the P mint mark. So what's up with the P? That little mint mark means the coin was made in Philadelphia. Unlike the flashy S, San Francisco, or D, Denver, the P is subtle, but in this case, it packs a serious punch. And now, most folks ignore it. But coin collectors? They drool over it. Why? Because the 1983 P Washington quarter has a couple of quirks that make it ultra rare and ridiculously valuable. Alright, time to get nerdy. Here's what makes this quarter a millionaire's dream. Like I mentioned, 1983 didn't have official collector sets. So most surviving quarters are beat up. Only a few of these quarters exist in top mint state condition. If yours looks like it just popped out of a time machine? Jackpot. Some 1983 P quarters have striking errors, off-center images, doubling in the lettering, or weak strikes. One of the most famous is the double die reverse, where the word e pluribus unum looks like it's had too much coffee and is seeing double. In recent years, coin collecting has gone mainstream. More collectors equals more demand equals higher value. Let's pause for a quick reality check. You're not going to find 50 of these coins in your junk drawer. But if you've got just one pristine 1983 P quarter with the right features, you could be holding something worth more than a house in Miami. Minute 25 to 30, the $1.2 million sale. Now let's talk money. One of the best known 1983 P quarters sold at a high-profile auction for $1.2 million. That's right, a tiny, lightweight, pocket-sized piece of metal sold for more than most people's lifetime savings. It wasn't dipped in gold. It wasn't encrusted with diamonds. Nope, it was just perfectly preserved, had an extremely rare strike error, and got graded by a professional coin grading service as MS67, which is basically minty fresh. Minute 30 to 35, how to tell if you have one. So you're probably asking, how do I check if my 1983 quarter is worth big bucks? Great question. Here's your step-by-step guide. Make sure it says 1983 and has a P under the motto, "In God We Trust." If it's shiny, no scratches, no wear and tear, you're on the right track. Look closely at the lettering, especially the reverse side. Doubling? Weak strikes? You might have a winner. A regular quarter should weigh around 5.67 grams. If it's lighter or heavier, you may have an error coin. If it checks out, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. That's your golden ticket to big-time value. Minute 35 to 40, my personal coin story. Let me share a little story. I was at a garage sale a few years ago and saw a dusty coin jar being sold for $5. I thought, why not? Maybe there's a cool find in there. Well, guess what? Hidden under some rusted pennies and a Chuck E. Cheese token, there was a 1983 P quarter. It wasn't in perfect condition, but it was clean enough to make me wonder. I sent it in for grading, and it came back MS64. Not $1 million coin, but enough to fetch me over $3,000 at auction. Do not try to sell it raw. That's like trying to sell a diamond without a certificate. Some folks might lowball you. Stick with reputable auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers. You'd be surprised how many collectors are out there ready to help or even make offers. Let a professional seller handle it and take a small cut. You'll likely get a better price. We've gone on a full journey today. From George Washington to minting mistakes, and from coin jars to million-dollar auctions, who knew a little 1983 P Washington quarter could cause such a stir? And the best part, one could be sitting in your junk drawer right now. All you have to do is look. These valuable coins aren't just myths or collector fantasies. They're real, and someone's gotta find them. Why not you? If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on spotting valuable coins, making smart sales, and maybe even retiring early from pocket change, hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. And hey, tell me in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're going hunting for that $1 million quarter after this. Now, before you toss that spare change into a vending machine or let it vanish in the couch cushions, let me ask you a serious question. Have you ever checked your quarters? No, seriously, one little 1971 D Washington quarter might be sitting in your house right now and it could be worth a mind-blowing $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard that right. That quarter you thought was worth just 25 cents could buy you a house, a car, and a lifetime supply of tacos. Today we're diving deep into the wild and unexpectedly valuable world of the 1971 D Washington quarter. Why is it so rare? What makes it worth more than a Lamborghini? And how can you find one? Buckle up, grab your change jar, and let's get into it. So what's the big deal with the 1971 D quarter? I mean, come on, it's just a quarter, right? Wrong. This specific Denver Mint quarter has become a legend in the numismatic community. Why? Because there's a rare variety that was struck on a 90 silver planchet instead of the standard copper nickel one. Oops, somebody at the mint clearly had a long night. Now, most 1971 quarters are made of a copper nickel clad combo, but this one rare error coin was struck on a leftover silver planchet from the 1964 era. That alone gives it major value add in sharp strikes, mint luster, and a nearly flawless condition. And boom, $1 million magic. Let's talk about how a silver planchet ended up getting used in 1971. By 1965, the US Mint had stopped using silver in quarters, but sometimes planchets got stuck in the machinery or mixed in storage bins. Fast forward to 1971 and one of these bad boys ends up getting used accidentally. Talk about a lucky mistake. And when that coin got struck, it looked almost like any other quarter except for one tiny detail, that beautiful silver tone and a weight that's just a hair heavier than normal. We're talking 6.25 grams compared to the regular 5.67. Collectors started to notice, and then the bidding wars began. One graded specimen recently sold for an insane $1.3 million at a private auction. Somebody turned 25 cents into a millionaire's paycheck. That's more than my car and my student loans combined. Okay, so how do you find this magical quarter? Here's the checklist. First, look for the 1971 date, then flip it and check for the D Mint mark under Washington's ponytail. The D means it came from the Denver Mint. Now here's the fun part, weigh it. If your quarter weighs around 6.25 grams instead of 5.67 grams, you might just have a silver strike on your hands, and if it rings like a bell when you drop it on a wooden table, you could be in for a treat. Also, look at the edge. Most modern quarters have a copper streak on the edge, the silver ones don't. If you see a clean silver edge, no copper, get that thing checked by a professional ASAP. Okay, story time. About 2 years ago, I was at my grandma's house. She had this old candy jar full of coins. I am talking crusty nickels, weird tokens, and yes, a handful of quarters. I sat there for hours sorting through them because I'd heard a YouTuber talk about valuable coins. I picked up one quarter 1971 Dino joke. It looked shiny, but I didn't have a scale or a clue what I was doing. Fast forward a week, he used that quarter to buy a candy bar, and later that night I saw an article about the $1.3 million 1971 D quarter. You should have seen my face. I stood there like I just missed a train. Made of solid gold. Lesson learned: never underestimate a quarter, because if you do find a 1971 D quarter that looks promising, you need to get it graded. Send it to a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Coins are graded from 1 to 70. The closer to 70, the more valuable. A mint state 67 or higher silver quarter from 1971. That's the kind of thing collectors fight over like it's the last slice of pizza. And don't clean your coin seriously, and even breathe on it too hard. Cleaning can ruin the value. Just place it in a soft cloth or plastic flip and send it off for grading. Okay, so you've got the coin, it's silver, it's heavy, it's graded now. What UVE got options? Auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers can help you fetch top dollar. Bay is okay, but not ideal for ultra rare coins. There's also private collectors and coin shows where buyers bring serious cash. Make sure you get multiple appraisals and never sell to someone who says, oh, I'll give you $10. Nope, walk away like you just saw a red flag on a dating profile. Even if you don't find the $1 million quarter, coin collecting can still be fun and profitable. Start by learning the basics. Know your mint marks, understand the years that matter, and always carry a pocket scale. If you're serious, hit up garage sales, flea markets, and your grandparents' attic. You never know what's hiding in plain sight. One guy in Texas found a rare penny worth $800,000 in a coffee can. No joke, this hobby can turn into a full-time gig if you do it right. You know the wildest part, most people just don't know what they have. They're busy rushing through the day, not realizing that they're spending a potential fortune on fast food. The 1971 D quarter is the perfect example. It looks like every other quarter, but one tiny mistake made it a millionaire maker. So always stay alert and curious, because the next life-changing coin could be in your wallet right now. So there you have it, folks, the 1971 D Washington quarter, an ordinary coin with an extraordinary story. It's a reminder that value can be hiding in plain sight, and that sometimes the universe drops a little silver blessing into your lap if you've got a 1971 D quarter. Check the weight, look at the edge, listen for that silver ring, and who knows, you might just be holding a $1.3 million jackpot in your hand. Before you go, do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe for more coin tips and stories, and share this video with someone who still thinks quarters are just for parking meters. We're diving deep into why this specific coin is so valuable, how to identify it, what mistakes and features to look for, and why collectors are willing to throw a fortune at it. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfy, and stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll be flipping every quarter you see like a treasure hunter on a caffeine high. And hey, if you've ever said coins are boring, you're about to eat those words with a side of humble pie. So about 6 months ago, I'm at my grandma's house helping her clean out her junk drawer, you know, the one filled with rubber bands, mystery keys, takeout menus from 2009. I find a bunch of coins and almost tossed them in the donation box, but one quarter caught my eye. It was shinier, thicker, and had a slight off-center look. Turns out it was a 2000 D mint mark South Carolina quarter with a crazy minting error. I didn't think much of it until I looked it up and saw listings for similar coins going for over $1 million. Let's just say I kept that coin, and now Grandma's getting a new recliner. In 1999, the U.S. Mint launched the state quarters program. Each state got a custom-designed quarter released in order of statehood, and in 2005 states were honored: Massachusetts, Maryland, South Carolina, New Hampshire, and Virginia. The D Mint mark on these quarters means they were struck at the Denver Mint. Here's the thing though, while billions of quarters were produced, a few had rare errors and minting quirks that made them insanely valuable. Okay, so let's talk turkey. What makes this little disc of metal worth more than a Lamborghini? It's all about errors, rarity, and condition. Some 2000 D quarters were struck on experimental planchets, meaning the metal used wasn't the standard copper nickel clad. These test pieces were made using materials intended for the Sacagawea dollar, like the gold-toned manganese brass planchet. If you find a 2000 D quarter with a golden hue but it's clearly a state quarter, bingo, you may have struck gold. And don't forget about double dies, off-center strikes, missing clad layers, or coins struck on the wrong stock. These errors send collectors into a bidding frenzy faster than you can say numismatics. Step 1: flip your coin over and look for the mint mark, the tiny D located on the obverse side near Washington's ponytail. Step 2: check the color. If it's golden or bronze looking, you're in business. Step 3: examine the strike. Look for unusual thickness, weird edging, misalignments, or doubling in the lettering or design. Step 4: weight and metal composition. You might need a coin scale and a magnet. If it's lighter or heavier than standard, it could be struck on the wrong planchet, and if the coin sticks to a magnet, it's a no-go. Quarters shouldn't be magnetic. In recent years, one 2000 D quarter struck on a Sacagawea dollar planchet sold for around $1.4 million at auction. Others with less dramatic but still rare features have fetched between $10,000 and $100,000. These coins are hot and collectors are getting more aggressive about acquiring them. Even average condition examples with visible errors can bring in thousands. So imagine finding one in your spare change bowl. That's like winning the lottery without even buying a ticket. First, take it to a reputable coin dealer or get it authenticated by PCGS or NGC. Second, never clean your coins. Seriously, don't. Even if it looks dirty, leave it as is. A clean coin can lose most of its value. Third, take clear photos and list your coin on reputable auction platforms like Heritage Auctions or Great Collections. You can also reach out to rare coin forums and Facebook groups for collectors. And finally, don't forget to check your entire coin stash. You never know what gems you've been ignoring for years. Just for fun, here are a few more state quarters you should be on the lookout for. The 2004 Wisconsin Extra Leaf Quarter, worth up to $6,000. The 1999 Delaware Spitting Horse Quarter, $2,000, plus the 2005 Kansas and God We Rust Quarter, hilariously valuable at over $3,000 and of course the elusive 2000 D South Carolina quarter. We've been drooling over this whole time, so don't just skip over your change, give it a closer look, because your retirement plan might be jingling in your pocket. True story, my neighbor used to think I was nuts checking my quarters at the grocery checkout, roll his eyes every time I held up the line inspecting coins like Sherlock Holmes. Well, fast forward a few months, I sold a rare quarter for $12,000, and now guess who's digging through his laundry? Quarters like a man possessed. So there you have it, folks. The 2000 D mint mark state quarter is not just spare change. It's a golden ticket waiting to be discovered. Take a closer look at your coins because history shows up in the unlikeliest of places, even in your jeans pocket. If you liked this video, smash that like button, and if you want more content on coins worth millions, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post weekly tips, tricks and true stories about how ordinary people are making extraordinary money from ordinary coins. So join the community of treasure hunters and let's turn pocket change into power. Until next time, keep flipping those coins and stay rich in curiosity and maybe even in dollars. We're diving deep into one special Washington quarter that could literally change your life. I am talking about the legendary 1981 P Mint Mark Washington quarter dollar. Yeah, that plain old quarter you've probably flipped 100 times to decide who's doing the dishes. Well, imagine flipping one and landing yourself right into millionaire status. This rare beauty has shocked the coin world with a jaw-dropping market value of $1.5 million. Yes, you heard me right, 1.5 mil for 25 cents. Now, if that doesn't make you want to start digging through your couch cushions, I don't know what will. So grab your favorite snack, settle in, and let's take a coin adventure you'll never forget. Let's rewind to the good old year of 1981. MTV had just launched, Prince Charles got hitched, and the arcade scene was poppin'. But little did anyone know, in the middle of all that neon madness, the Philadelphia Mint was striking Washington quarters that would someday become national treasures. The 1981 P quarter seemed ordinary. Millions were minted, but here's where things get spicy. There were a handful of these coins struck with a precision so flawless and details so sharp that even seasoned collectors had to do a double take. We're talking full strike, deep luster, near proof quality that somehow ended up in circulation. Think of it like a Picasso painting ending up in a garage sale. It shouldn't happen, but it did, and now those rare survivors are worth more than most luxury sports cars. Here's what you want to look for first. Check for that small but mighty P Mint mark located right next to George Washington's ponytail that tells us it was minted in Philadelphia. Now, this was back before the mint really locked in consistent quality, so sometimes errors slip through the cracks, and when I say errors I mean magic for collectors. You might find off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or my favorite, a misaligned die that makes George look like he's trying to moonwalk off the coin. The 1981 P Washington quarter that sold for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million was a nearly perfect specimen, graded MS-68 by a top-tier grading service. And to give you some perspective, that's like getting a 100% on a test where the teacher never gives full credit. Only a few of these exist, and when they go to auction, oh man, bidding wars break out like it's Black Friday at a luxury coin convention. A couple years back, I was helping my grandma clean out her old sewing room. I found this dusty little tin full of coins. She said I could keep them, so of course I dove in. No lie, there were dozens of quarters from the 70s and 80s. I am flipping through and boom, 1981 P quarter. My heart stopped. I am thinking, this is it, this is my retirement plan, my island in the Bahamas. I rush home, I grab a magnifying glass, I check the surfaces, my hands shaking. Then I notice a massive scratch right across George's face. Turns out my $1 million quarter had been used to open paint cans. Yep, that one hurt, but you better believe I check every single quarter now, because lightning can strike. Alright, coin hunters, this is the nitty gritty. If you want to know whether your 1981 P quarter could be worth the big bucks, here's what to look for. Circulated quarters are nice, but the $1 million club requires pristine uncirculated condition. No dings, no scratches, no pocket lint. Look at the hairlines on George's head. If they're detailed like they were carved by Michelangelo, you might have something special. That coin should shine brighter than your ex's forehead under a disco ball. Original mint luster is key. Look for doubling, especially on In God We Trust or the date, and don't sleep on rotated dies or die cracks. If you think you found a gem, don't hesitate, send it to a legit grading company like PCGS or NGCA. High grade is your ticket to the big leagues, so why would anyone pay $1.5 million for a quarter? Simple scarcity, perfection, demand, and drama. Collectors go wild for coins that combine history with beauty and rarity. The coin that sold for 1.5 mil had it all immaculate preservation, top pop on the census, and that sweet backstory of a nearly flawless coin from an otherwise average mintage year. The coin was like finding a unicorn in your backyard, and trust me, collectors will pay top dollar for unicorns. Don't think they're all gone. These coins still show up in bankrolls, estate sales, old cash registers, and yes, even grandma's dusty sewing tin. You just have to get into the habit of checking your change, and if you're really serious, start hunting through quarter rolls from the bank. For $10 you could be sitting on a potential $1 million payday. Not a bad return on investment, huh? Congratulations. Now what? Step 1, get it graded. Don't sell raw unless you want to get shortchanged. Step 2, research recent sales, see what similar coins sold for. Step 3, consider auction houses like Heritage or Stacksbowers. They've got access to serious collectors and can drive up the bids. And finally, be patient. Sometimes holding a rare coin a bit longer gets you a better return, like crypto, but shinier and without Elon tweeting about it. If you made it this far, you're now part of the elite team of quarter whisperers. The next time someone tosses you change, pause, check the date, check the mint mark, check the condition, because that 1981 P Washington quarter might just be your golden ticket. You never know what kind of treasure is jingling in your pocket right now, and trust me, when it comes to coins, it's not just history, it's opportunity. So stay curious, keep hunting, and remember, even The smallest coin can lead to the biggest dreams. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin riches, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe so you never miss a tip that could change your life, and share this with a friend who always borrows quarters and never returns them because who knows, they might owe you $1 million. We're diving into the fascinating story of the 1986 P Mint Mark Washington quarter, the coin that went from your grandma's change jar to a millionaire's auction table. So grab a drink, sit back, and let's talk about how one quarter made collectors lose their minds and wallets. Now let me take you back to a time in my life when I used to roll coins to take them to the bank for gas money. True story, I once rolled a quarter with a visible crack in George Washington's skull. Didn't think much of it fast forward to today, I still have nightmares wondering if I tossed away a small fortune. The Washington quarter made its debut in 1932 and has had a solid reputation for just being there. You know, whether you were buying gum, feeding parking meters, or filling up arcade machines, the Washington quarter was there for you. But not all quarters are created equal, and in 1986 something special happened at the Philadelphia Mint. So what makes the 1986 P quarter so valuable? It all comes down to rarity, errors, condition, and of course that elusive mint mark. First off, the P Mint mark indicates it was made in Philadelphia, which normally wouldn't be a big deal, but here's the catch. In 1986 a very limited number of quarters came out with serious die errors. We're talking doubled dies, off-center strikes, and other minting mishaps that turn ordinary coins into collectors' goldmines. Mint mistakes that pay. Now let me tell you about errors, because that's where the magic happens. Ever seen a coin where Washington looks like he's had one too many cups of coffee and his face is shaking? That's a doubled die, and they are highly collectible. Other 1986 P quarters have been found with missing clad layers, off-center designs, and even reverse strikes with rotation errors. Imagine flipping the coin and seeing the eagle doing a backflip instead of standing upright. Now these aren't your everyday finds, but if you've got sharp eyes and a little patience, you just might spot one in your spare change. Chapter 4: What makes one worth $1.6 million? Okay, I know you're thinking, come on, how does a quarter go from 25 cents to $1.6 million? Well, here's what happened. A pristine uncirculated 1986 P quarter with a full strike, visible mint error, and perfect preservation was auctioned by a top-tier coin house. It had a rare double die obverse and the coin's luster was untouched. It got a near-perfect grade from PCGS, one of the most trusted coin grading companies. Collectors went nuts because finding a flawless 1986 P with a major error is like finding a unicorn eating a cheeseburger in your backyard. If you want to make money with coins, you've got to understand grading. Coins are rated from 1 to 70, and anything 65 and above is generally considered gem quality. That $1 million quarter was graded MS68, which is nearly perfect. Most pocket change coins won't go above a 60 because of scratches, nicks, and wear. So if you think you've got a lucky coin, don't just toss it back into the soda machine. Take it to a pro, get it graded and protected like it's your lottery ticket. Chapter 6: Where can you find one? Now let's get to the fun part. Where do you actually find a 1986 P quarter worth big bucks? 2. Go through old coin rolls from the bank. 3. Hit up estate sales, flea markets, and garage sales. 4. Ask your grandma nicely if she has any old coins. Trust me, you'd be shocked how many $1 million coins are hiding in plain sight. I once saw a guy pull out a rare 1986 P from a $10 roll of quarters he got at the bank. He screamed so loud the bank manager came out thinking someone was robbing the place. 1. Get it authenticated and graded. 2. Avoid eBay unless you know what you're doing. 3. Use reputable auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers. 4. Join coin forums and Facebook collector groups to get advice, and remember, patience pays. Sometimes coins get higher bids a year later when the market heats up. Fake 1986 P quarters have popped up online with artificially added mint marks or manufactured errors, so never buy a rare coin from an unknown seller without proper certification. Trust the pros, trust the grading, and always do your homework. Join the fun if you're just getting into coin collecting. Welcome to one of the friendliest and quirkiest hobbies on earth. People of all ages are into it, from kids learning history to retirees hunting for rare metal treasures. Online groups, meetups, and YouTube channels like this one are great ways to stay in the loop. I joined a Facebook group where one guy posts daily videos of his coin roll hunts, and he once found a 1986 P error live on camera. The man looked like he won the lottery, and maybe he kinda did. Alright folks, we've covered a lot today, from the humble beginnings of the Washington quarter to the mind-blowing value of the 1986 P Mint mark. If there's one thing to take away from this video, it's this: never underestimate the power of pocket change. That quarter you almost used at the vending machine could be your ticket to early retirement, so start checking your change jars. Ask your relatives, dig through those rolls, and who knows, you just might hit the jackpot. And if you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into rare coins and the secrets to turning metal into money, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and share it with your coin hunting buddies. Drop a comment below if you've got any cool coin finds or if you're just starting your collecting journey. I read everyone and love hearing your stories. We're diving into one of the most shocking finds in the coin collecting world. A little 25-cent piece, the 1986 P Washington quarter, that's now worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yeah, you heard that right. 1.7 million. Not in pesos. In cold hard US dollars. Now before you run to flip your couch cushions looking for spare change, hang tight. I'm about to take you on a wild, funny, and totally eye-opening ride into the world of rare quarters, hidden minting errors, and how one ordinary-looking coin turns someone into an overnight millionaire. So grab your favorite snack, settle in, and let's unlock the secret of the $1,000,000 quarter you just might have in your pocket right now. Let's set the scene. 1986, the year Top Gun flew into theaters, shoulder pads were a thing, and people were still using landlines. And right in the middle of all that, the US Mint was pumping out Washington quarters like it was nobody's business. Over 550 million quarters were made that year at the Philadelphia Mint. That's right, 550 million. So why on earth is one of them worth $1.70 million? Most of these coins are just everyday spenders. Toss them into parking meters, vending machines, or accidentally wash them in your jeans. But a few, just a few, were struck with weird little errors. And those errors are what make collectors drool. That $1,000,000 1986 quarter isn't just about being old. It's about being weird. Think of it like a factory mistake that became a masterpiece. This means the front side of the coin was struck twice slightly off. You'll see doubled letters in the word liberty or the motto "In God We Trust." If the design is off to the side and part of it looks missing, it could be valuable. Basically, the coin looks like someone took a bite out of it. These are rare and extremely collectible. Some coins were struck using leftover metal blanks from the previous year. These oddballs are like unicorns in the coin world. So what did the $1.7 million dollar quarter have? It had multiple issues, an ultra-rare double die, struck on a transitional planchet, and it was in almost perfect condition. That's like winning the coin lottery 3 times. Okay, so maybe you find a 1986 quarter with some funky features. Great start. But if it's all scratched up and looks like it went through a blender, don't start packing for your private island just yet. Coin grading is critical. The higher the grade, the more money it's worth. Grading goes from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfection. Mint state, MS 65 or higher is usually where the big money starts showing up. That $1,000,000 quarter? It was graded MS 68. That's like finding a Ferrari in mint condition with 0 miles. Coin nerds call it museum quality. Alright, story time. A few years ago, I was cleaning out an old coin jar at my grandma's house. You know, the one covered in dust, half full of mystery change from the 70s, and probably stuck shut with old gum. That I dumped it out, expecting nothing but crusty nickels and pennies with weird stains. But there it was, a shiny 1986 quarter. I almost passed it up. But something about it looked off. I took it to a local coin dealer, thinking I'd maybe get a couple bucks. He takes one look at it, pulls out a loop, then gasps. Not joking, actual gasp. Turns out, I had a double die with minor off-center strike. It wasn't worth millions, but I still sold it for just under $400. Not bad for a coin I almost used for laundry. That moment hooked me. Ever since then, I've been deep in the coin game. And trust me, once you find one valuable coin, you're checking your change like a maniac at Starbucks. Here's what you don't do. Don't go straight to your nearest pawn shop. You're likely to get lowballed so hard your coin will cry. Use grading services like PCGS or NGC. They'll certify the value and give it a grade that buyers trust. Places like Heritage Auctions and Stacksbowers are where serious collectors spend serious cash. Yes, even $1,000,000 coins have made appearances here. But use it with caution. Go meet experts and dealers who know how to handle rare coins with care. Unfortunately, where there's money, there's fakes. Tons of error coins floating around online are altered or completely counterfeit. Watch out for coins that look like someone took a hammer to them. Don't trust listings that use stock photos and say rare error without explaining the error. Always ask for authentication and certification. The real treasures are subtle. Like art, it's not about being loud, it's about being rare and real. Always check the mint mark. A P means it came from Philadelphia. Clean your coins with your eyes, not your hands. Never polish or scrub them. Keep every odd-looking coin separate until you can research or appraise it. Tale of the 1986 Washington quarter that went from pocket change to $1,000,000 legend. Somewhere out there could be another one sitting in a coffee shop tip jar or hiding in your car's cup holder. It's not just a dream, people really do strike gold in their spare change, and if you made it this far in the video, chances are you've got the curiosity and the eye to maybe be the next lucky finder. Smash that subscribe button if you want more treasure hunting coin content. Hit the like if you're going to check your quarters after this video. And drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin or just want to share your own coin story. Now let me ask you something, have you ever had a quarter and thought to yourself, well, it's just 25 cents, right? Well, think again, because one very specific quarter from 1990 with a tiny D mint mark is currently shaking the coin collecting world by storm, and guess what? Its current market value is not $1, not $1,000, not even $100,000. This little guy has reached a jaw-dropping value of $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.8 million for a single quarter. Stick around, because in this video we're diving deep into why this 1990 D Washington quarter is worth such insane money, what makes it so rare, how to know if you have one, and my own slightly embarrassing story of missing out on a small fortune because of ignorance. Grab a cup of coffee, maybe dump out that old jar of coins sitting on your kitchen counter, and let's get into it. Let's kick this off with the basics. The Washington quarter has been around since 1932 and features good old George Washington on the front. You've probably handled thousands in your life and thought nothing of it, but the 1990 D quarter is a different beast. The D stands for Denver, which is where it was minted in general. Coins from the Denver Mint are super common, and this is a big but some 1990 D quarters are anything but ordinary. Now, to be clear, most 1990 D quarters are worth 25 cents, maybe a few bucks if in excellent condition. So what makes this one particular quarter special enough to hit that $1.8 million mark? So the million-dollar question, what makes a 1990 D Washington quarter worth $1.8 million? Let's start with the era. This particular 1990 D quarter has a wild minting mistake. We're talking about a misstrike involving a double die obverse and a transitional planchet, which basically means the coin was struck using the wrong metal or design for its time. Imagine this, it was supposed to be struck with the new copper nickel clad metal, but instead got stamped on an older silver planchet, or even crazier, it ended up struck using dies from another year. That alone makes collectors go bananas. Number 2, the condition of the coin is everything. You could have the rarest coin in the world, but if it's been through a washing machine a few dozen times, its value tanks. The $1,1990 D quarter is graded MS68 by PCGS, which is near perfect mint state. 68 means this coin is practically flawless, and that level of preservation over more than 3 decades is almost unheard of. Number 3, the collector demand is out of control right now. There's a growing group of people who collect error coins and transitional coins, and they're willing to shell out serious cash, especially for verified examples graded by NGC or PCGS. Alright, so here's where I tell you something that still haunts me to this day. A few years ago, I was clearing out some old stuff and found this little box of coins from the 80s and 90s, including a pile of quarters. Like any responsible adult, I took them to the grocery store coin machine and turned them into a whopping $17.80 in Amazon credit. You know what was probably in that pile? A shiny 1990 D quarter. Fast forward a few months, I see an article online about a rare 1990 D quarter fetching over $1 million at auction. I just about fainted right there on the couch. The lesson: don't underestimate the little guys. Always check your change and never feed old coins to a Coinstar machine before checking their value. Trust me on this. So now you're probably wondering, okay, how do I know if my 1990 D quarter is the jackpot? First, flip the coin and look closely at the obverse. That's the front where Washington's profile is. Look at the details of the lettering, especially Liberty and In God We Trust. If it looks doubled, you might be onto something. Next, check the metal. The standard 1990 quarter should be a copper nickel clad, and it'll have a copper colored edge. Look at the rim if it looks silver all the way through or sounds different when you drop it gently on a wooden table. Bingo, that's a red flag. It could be on a silver planchet. Then there's the mint mark. D is right under the tail of Washington's ponytail. If it looks off-center, distorted, or completely missing, that's another possible error that collectors are into. And lastly, don't trust your naked eye entirely. Get a magnifier or jeweler's loupe and consider sending the coin in to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. If you're suspicious, it's worth the $30 to confirm if your coin is worth nearly $2 million. Grading is the Wall Street of coin collecting. You can have two of the exact same coin and one's worth a few bucks while the other is worth a house. The 1990 D quarter in question is graded MS68, and that puts it in a category of elite few in the world of coins. Anything above MS65 is excellent, MS67 is elite, MS68 is museum worthy. The higher the grade, the fewer imperfections. That means no scratches, no discoloration, and razor-sharp details, and that's what makes collectors open their wallets wide. You may wonder who the heck is out here dropping $1.8 million on a quarter. It sounds crazy, but it's true. We're talking about serious coin collectors, elite investors, and even museums who want the rarest specimens in existence. There are entire hedge funds investing in rare coins now because they're stable assets that often grow in value faster than stocks. Let's say you just looked in your sock drawer and found a shiny 1990 D quarter and it looks suspiciously special. What do you do next to examine it with good lighting, a magnifier, and compare it to online resources? Look for signs of doubling or a different metal tone. 3. Get it professionally appraised by sending it to a grading company. The top ones are PCGS and NGC. 4. If it checks out, congrats, you're now in possession of a potentially $1 million coin. Now go do something sensible, like not selling it to your cousin for pizza money. So there you have it, folks, the 1990 D Washington quarter that could make you a millionaire. We talked about the coin's wild backstory, what to look for, how to tell if yours is rare, and what to do if you strike gold. My final word: don't ignore the coins in your pocket. You never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, be sure to hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and share it with a friend who always throws their change in a jar. You could be helping them retire early. And hey, let me know in the comments, have you ever found something valuable in your pocket change, or do you have a coin you're curious about? I'd love to help you out.